Good evening, FFR fans, and those of us watching on RPG Limit Break tonight. This is week 3 of the Duckling FFR Bootcamp. Joining me in the booth tonight, we've got Sir Link-A-Lot, and our wonderful runner tonight for these flags is going to be Greggly Puff himself, taking the reins, the big duck. So we're going to see how Greg gets to handle these. So, Link, what are we looking at tonight here for the third week of this training camp?
So for the third week, I mean, if we're going through the flags, the first couple of boxes, there's a minor change to the second box, but the first box is pretty basic. Shops are shuffled, magic levels are shuffled. We have an insert ruse item, which just turns the power staff into basically the defense sword, and RNG tables are shuffled. Something we did want to note about shops being shuffled, this doesn't mean all shops being shuffled, including the caravan. So that key item that's typically sitting on the caravan, the bottle, might be somewhere else entirely. It might not even be the bottle. It could be in any item shop in the entire game. So you want to make sure, if that is the case, you want to be kind of checking your item shops, even if you don't need anything, until you've seen the location of that one key item.
Yep, excellent point. And yeah, just remember, it can't be gear. It will always be an item. Except it can't be the canoe either, I think, is the other one. So it won't be canoe or ship, but you get a free ship. But aside from that, yeah, everything there. So the biggest change, I think, in the second week, or the second box here that Link alluded to, was a shuffled Astos. So that wonderful wily king, who knows where he's going to pop up tonight. He could be in his vanilla location. He might be hiding in the Leffinish people. He might be a robot. He might be the Princess Sarah. So we'll find out here in just a little bit once we get this going, and then we'll also have to find out where he's hiding at for the official seed that'll be posted tomorrow at some point in time in the morning. But aside from that, everything else, shuffled skills, shuffled spells, shuffled status attacks, it's everything we've seen for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, there's one thing that Dark Moon, and this was actually the thing that I was thinking of, because trap tiles were shuffled in week 1 or 2. The trap tiles are vanilla in this seed. So Agamas are going to be where Agamas are, the Eye is going to be where the Eyes are, the Wizards are going to be in Marsh Cave. All of those are going to be in the exact same locations they would be in the vanilla game, which helps out on this seed. We'll get to a little bit later why that's going to be such a big deal.
Yeah, good point. I was totally thinking about Astos for some reason, just because it's playing like Where's Waldo or Whack-A-Mole. I totally glossed over the trap tiles there. So, a couple additions here to the third set of boxes here in our Treasures and Incentives tab. One we haven't really seen yet, but we're going to break it out for this week, just for grins and giggles, is the Better Trap Treasure flag. There's an exhaustive list over in the About section on the website, as referenced there in the tooltip as Darkling is bringing up for us. But the general rule of thumb that's usually safe to go by is if there's boxes, if there's a box or maybe a couple boxes behind a trap tile, they typically will fall under this particular flag. And what it means is that they are more likely to have a higher tiered piece of gear fall in those boxes. So you may have anything from, like, I think it starts at like ice shields or flame swords, or even like a light axe. I think everything from there and beyond in like the gear listing is what's can qualify as a drop or qualify as a piece of treasure in those particular treasure boxes that are not incentivized, but they're augmented. They're buffed up a little bit. They're improved by that particular flag.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to keep in mind, because if you're potentially looking for a ribbon, you're going in a Topher, you maybe only have one ribbon or no ribbons. Hopefully we'll find one, because it is incentivized. But checking the chest behind, like Topher, or not Topher, but Temple of Fiends locked, it is a good chance of potentially maybe just finding a ribbon or another powerful piece of equipment right before your Topher dive.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple that we'll get into that are conveniently located there in Temple of Fiends itself as well. So maybe they've got them both sitting there for us. So other things to look at for this week, we've got a free ship, so we don't have to worry about who's going to have the boat for us. We start with it so we can immediately start going across the ocean if we really wanted to. We've also got a free bridge. As far as loose items, there are none tonight, so we've got 19 locations that are checked off. Between all our NPCs, we've got Ice Cave, Ordeals, Marsh Titans, and the TNT Vanilla Box, Canaria Locked, being our extra locations. And then all our items you can see there. It's all our basic progression items. And then we threw a ribbon in because, hey, you know what? With these particular flags, maybe hunting for a ribbon is not really going to be the thing everybody wants to do. So we're going to guarantee you'll get at least one ribbon during your run. One guaranteed from key NPCs or key location, and maybe you'll get lucky, find a second one in a nearby box.
That would always be nice, but yeah, so no loose items. Ribbon's the only incentivized. None of the like dungeons or the Fiend dungeons are incentivized or anything like that. Next box goal, pretty much the exact same as it's been the first 2 weeks. We're not looking for any kind of orbs, anything like that. We just need to get the 4 orbs. I meant the shards, not orbs. Need to get the 4 orbs lit, go into Topher, and punch Chaos down.
Yep, and as far as maps and routing goes, one couple different things in here that are turned on. So we've got Northern Docks on this week. So what this flag does is it puts a dock south of Honorak, so you can get to Honorak and Waterfall early. You can also get to the caravan shop, so in the likely or unlikely, whichever chance it is, that the caravan item is actually, or the loose vendor item is in the caravan slot, we can still get there. That also throws in a dock south of the Mirage Desert. So if we happen to have the cube and the chime early, and we really want to go up and see our patrolling war mech, we can go there with the ship, we can dock it, we can walk the way up there. Another flag we've got on tonight just for giving people an extra safety net, because again, this is all about training our new runners, all our newcomers to the randomizer. Sometimes things don't go your way when you're doing a grind. So what we've turned on tonight is we've got save game when game over. So what this does is if you happen to lose all your party members in battle, you don't lose everything you've done. The game saves after you die. It kicks you back over to either where your last dock is, or if you have the airship, it'll pop you over at Canaria. So you restart. All your progression is still there. You still have any gear you found. You still have any levels you've gotten. I believe it does like the Dragon Warrior, the Dragon Quest thing, where it takes half of your gold when you die. But aside from that, everything else is there. Okay, we have that off, so we're good. Thanks for pointing that out, Duckling. I'm a little blind tonight. So yeah, everything, if you die, it's no biggie. The hardest thing for veteran runners to do with this flag is to fight the instinct to hit that reset switch button real quick. But if you're new, just understand that if you happen to take a wipe, you're not losing progress. The only thing you're really losing is travel time to get back to the last place you were diving.
Yeah, it's really meant in case something like goes terrible on a grind, like maybe you're punching Agamas and they haven't shown any nasty skills, but all of a sudden, like poison or stone poison comes out and your black belt gets petrified. Instead of be like, oh, well, my grind's gone, you get to at least keep your grind.
Yep, exactly. So speaking of black belts, I guess we can put the cat out of the bag. We're going to call this Black Belt Flag Week. And I don't know about you guys, but the thing that I find best about black belts is seeing giant damage numbers.
Yeah, I like what Dark Moon did. He went down to the party just to show that we're not just saying it's a black belt seed just because. You're not bringing fighters or thieves. You're forced to bring a black belt. If you really want to try to run this with mages, feel free to, maybe for a challenge. But you were bringing a black belt. You were forced into it. We'll kind of explain kind of what you're looking for potentially in what we kind of call black belt seeds compared to maybe a more normal seed.
Yeah, so we're gonna turn on what I'm gonna call training dummy mode. Not to say this training dummy is just gonna sit there and take it. This training dummy might be hitting you back or doing something back at you. But we've got some kind of lowish boss stat scaling, but we have turned on the separate HP scaling and we've cranked that HP way up. So with this, Chaos is guaranteed to roll somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 hit points. So by the end of the game, I'm going to make a fun thing of it. I'm hoping that whenever people are finishing their times this week, go ahead and post like the biggest damage number you got on Chaos from a hit, and let's make a little competition out of it. I think that'll be fun. But that's kind of the whole thing is, when you're running a black belt, you want big damage, and if Chaos only rolls like 1,200 HP, that's just disappointing. Now we're going to let you buff up and take a couple whacks at him before he falls over, so I think that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, and kind of the things you're looking for when you're like maybe making that decision, do I want to bring a fighter, thief, black belt, is looking at the clamps. The XP is also something you want to look at, because when you're looking at bosses that have 300% HP, it's going to take you some time to get a fighter and a thief online to start doing that big damage. Whereas a black belt, you get a 42 black belt, you're going to see Greg Lee start outputting numbers immediately before we see like any number of tempers. You get a fast off and you start hitting 20 times with the critical rate that a black belt has, which we'll get into in just a little bit. You're going to start seeing thousands of damage very quickly.
Yep, and then going down, like we pointed out, our party screen, you're forced to do the black belt, and you can kind of pick your choice of mages, whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's it. Your only melee is your solo black belt, and I mean, if you want to do like White Samurai, you can, but I don't know if I'd be willing to do that with a potentially 10,000 HP chaos rolling around. So past that, conveniences, they're all turned on. We've got auto sword, we've got guillotine, all that fun stuff. The biggest flag to point out down here in the bugs, fixes, and rebalancing section is we don't have half black belt crit rate off. Or, I'm sorry, we don't have it on. So what that does is when that flag is off, which it will be for this particular week, the easy way to calculate the black belt's crit rate is double your level. So if you're level 25, each of your hits has a 50% chance of critting. If you get up to level 50, I'm pretty sure it goes and tops you at 100% crit rate. So everything is going to be a crit and it's all going to hurt.
Yeah, level 50 black belts hurt a lot. I don't think we're going to see Greg Lee take it all the way to 50. Usually, we'll talk a bit more about like black belt breakpoints, what you're kind of looking for as far as your levels on a black belt. But yes, yeah, it's once you hit that level point, at 42 is the big one. That's when you get your 10th hit or your 9th and 10th hit. It starts doing a lot of damage. And I think that's just the crit rate. So it's not going to be 100%. The crit rate is very high, though, itself. It's not 100%.
It always felt like everything was a crit whenever I got a 50 black belt without that flag off. So I guess it's probably just confirmation bias at that point for me. So, I mean, aside from that, I don't believe we have anything in experimental.
The only one we have, and I don't know if we even get to see the usage of it, is the shop information that we introduced last week. But as far as shops where we get to see that, I mean, well, I guess we'll see it in Spell Shop, but I don't think we're going to be seeing, we're definitely not going to be seeing a weapon shop. I'm sure Greg Lee will maybe be checking some armor shops, hoping for some gold bracelets, pro rings, things of that nature. But other than that, we're probably not looking at too many shops.
Yeah, I would imagine not. So, yeah, I mean, aside from that, I think that's really the entirety of the flag. So from here, as long as Greg Lee is ready, unless he has something else he wants to add or throw in here at us, I think we're ready to get this going.
Nah, I got nothing for you guys. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
Excellent.
Greg Lee wants to punch things.
He does want to punch things. It's been a while, so he needs to have some catharsis tonight, and I think the seed will let him do it.
As far as comp, Greg Lee's bringing the black belt, and then we kind of coined the term Oreo for the white mage, double black mage at this point.
Yeah, I like the comp. It's you're guaranteed to have a lot of black magic output. Depending on how things roll, you also are going to be getting that guaranteed life caster in that white mage. Just depends on where within the 1 through 8 spell slots it lands. We don't need no red mages where we're going.
Yeah. One of the main reasons why I like to bring the white mage and the black mage specifically is because you're not going to do class change with the black belt. So having making sure that you have that magic is kind of important for me. Understand the value of the red mage because you can cast, all white or, the white and the black magic kind of in the early slots. But, if things end up rolling outside of that or promotion locked or whatever, then it makes itself a little bit less useful.
Yeah, it's a very good point. We don't want to promote Taylor's
exactly. Yeah, Taylor's back. I want that to be my loose item. Or not my loose item. I want that to be in a place like Ordeals where I'm not going to check anyway. So
right.
I'm assuming I will get a countdown to the timer. Is that how we're doing this, or how's that working?
Yeah, if you want one, sure. We can give you a countdown.
So I was just making sure for the timer because I know that Dark Moon wants a timer.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll give you a countdown, then we'll smash that start button once we see you move on screen. So I'll let you go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, and just quickly before we get to any shops to explain anything there, it is in chat, but the main reason why you do not promote a black belt party is the black belt gets +4 magic defense per level. Once they're promoted, the master only gets 1 point of magic defense per level.
I'm just going to point out now, when we go into the first shop, I'm just glad I brought a white mage along.
Yeah, I would say if I had a red mage at this point, I'd be re-rolling probably.
Yeah, agreed. So heal 3 is really fun. That really kills your need on, or that totally eliminates your heal pot crutch early on, because your white mage isn't doing nothing at that point but casting heal 3 in life. So a little disappointing Greg put life in the first slot, but that's just personal preference.
Get over it.
Magic, right? So black magic, Temper, Brack, Bane. I mean, Bane's not a terrible sweeper, especially given that, it's gonna kill everything if it lands. If it doesn't land, you're still in the same boat. It's unusual you'd see people pick up both of them, but when you're still needing to possibly have something to clear out packs with it, it'll do the job, especially in like the lower level enemies. So it should suffice until we find something a little bit more powerful, like maybe like an Ice 2 or a Fire 3 or something of that nature.
I think one of the nicest things about that too, but considering the fact that HP is 300 to 500, I don't know if we made mention of that. Bosses aren't just considered the fiends. This also is Garland as well as Astos. So Garland at minimum is going to have 318 HP. So even if we would have got a sweeper, unless it's something like Nuke or maybe one of the level 3 elemental spells, we're going to need to be throwing a lot of spells to get rid of Garland. With Brack, chances are he's dying to a Brack on turn 1.
Yeah, hopefully. Kind of disappointing, or kind of a little bit of upsetting that we only have 85 gold left to buy just one cabin here, because I'm thinking, at least the way I would approach it, is if I have Shuffle Astos on and I've got beefy bosses, I'm definitely going to want to try and save before I walk into the Temple of Fiends, but Greg proved me wrong, because he would have been short money. Maybe he's going to go back and
No, I am very short money.
reassess.
I am short 1 gold point.
Yes, you're going to be short by 1 gold, so we may go see him and go out and punch an imp, perhaps. Let's see. Nope, never mind. We're just going to do back to the inn, I guess.
I want to save after you do your shopping so you don't have to do character select all over again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So into the Temple of Fiends we go. Very nice run. No encounters whatsoever between Canary and Garland, so that's going to work out great. Brack going out, and hey, look, Link, you called it. First turn Brack.
Yeah, now the fun part, because I'm sure we're going to see Brack later on.
Where are you going, Greg?
I don't trust them.
So the reason Greg is saving is because he didn't have any save items before he killed Garland, and with Shuffle Astos on, like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, it could be the king, it could be the princess, it could be someone later on. So yeah, king and princess both safe. So Greg made that safety save. Not a bad play at this point, because Brack not the most reliable against Astos. Yeah, can land, but not if you it's nice to have all your spell charges back first, just in case he doesn't take the first couple.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, you spend some time going and doing that save, but at the same time, if this is like a one-on-one race or something like that, and you do check, and then it is Astos and you can't kill him, I mean, it's not a huge amount of time, but obviously every time loss is a time loss.
Yeah, absolutely. So over to the pirates. This is where Bane's going to come in really handy, because maybe one bit pirate might resist it. Well, there's one already. Oh, we got 2. Bummer.
That pirate remembered their gas mask for a little bit and then took it off thinking they were safe.
And so we've done 2 fights and we're already level 5, so you can kind of see how quickly the EXP will ramp up here. As far as key items go, so we picked up the herb from the king, we got the canal from the princess, and we just got our Oxyel here from Vicky. No more save items here in the shop, so I'm sure Greg's a little bit sad about that.
We did find gold bracelets though, +4, so those will be nice when we have some money. So those got gloves +4, which, Greg Lee did pick up some caps +3 in Canaria. So those mages with the burst armor, they do have a decent amount of armor already.
Yeah, that's a really nice pickup too, especially because caps and gloves are relatively or extremely cheap in the vanilla game. So even with the price scaling going on, they're not going to be like just crazy expensive. So if you have them roll extremely high, like 3, 4, 5, with the scaling we have for the Blurrsings, 9 armor at the start of the game is really kind of nice. I mean, I think that's equivalent to about a copper bracelet. So in the one's absence, hey, here's 2 pieces of gear that kind of cover the same thing.
I want to say it's almost actually even better. I want to say copper bracelet might be 1, or not 1, 5, maybe. I'm not completely sure, but level 2 white magic. We've got Ruse and maybe Cure 2. A-Rub's not terrible, but we're probably not too worried about it with its resistances. And we're still looking for a sweeper. Actually, we've got Quake, but
we need.
Ice, Slow 2, and Stop. We're probably not grabbing any of those.
Yeah, I'd imagine not. Greg proving us wrong. He's gonna go and get some Stop over here now, so just in case. So do want to point out though too, as we've gone through, we've checked so far the Canaria and the Provoca item shops. Neither one of them had that vendor item in it, so we at least know it's pushed out to a later town. So now we know it's going to be there like Elfland, Gaia, Onrak, Crescent Lake, or the Caravan. So it's just kind of showing that as you're going through, it doesn't take but a couple seconds to walk into those item shops to look for the vendor item, especially because we're still going to want to probably have some save items as we go along the way, mostly because it did seem like we do have a fairly decent run off the hard, like the hard reset. And ooh, look, so hags have lit too. So we're going to want to try and get off this ocean. I guess that was one that used Dazzle the first time.
Yep.
So back to Provoca we go, which is fine. We had no save items in Provoca. We didn't really have the money to afford the cabins right off the bat in Canaria. Pretty sure we'll see Greg pick up probably maybe 15 of them here, possibly. All right, just 4. Let's go. Or 5. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit less just because of the fact we still have no sweepers, so maybe hoping to get some cheap level 3 magic and get an actual sweeper. That's not an instant kill.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment.
Especially considering, we've got the herb turn, so we'll see what the herb actually turns into, but if the herb turns into something that's, or no, we've gotten the canal as well, so got a couple checks we can make. But Marsh is kind of the big one. There's the adamant, so that's something else.
All right. So we go ahead and do the adamant check real quick. Not a bad play, just because we only do have a couple hundred gold. So maybe the 2 chests up here in dwarves will pay out while we turn in the adamant. So best case scenario, I think maybe at this point it's going to be lazy dwarves, so we never have to go back there.
So I guess I have a question for Greg concerning this. I know you have no sweepers, but if you had like a good sweeper and potentially like warp or exit as well, would you consider going to Marsh before going and turning in adamant?
Oh, absolutely. I would definitely hold off the adamant at least to see if I could get the TNT beforehand. Cool.
No cash, just a heal pot and a silver hat. So.
And then wait until you see what I get.
Oh boy, the thing we didn't want.
It's that item Greg Lee always wanted.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I can't wait.
So I mean, on the plus side, at least you do get that 10% more EXP from that key item bonus because we do have that early tail. Unfortunately, it does kind of limit your options for progression at this point. So.
Yeah, I think it's, well, I guess we've got Crescent and we've got Marsh Tape. That's all we have right now. So.
And then a potential vendor item depending on where that lands, because we could see, we do have Northern Docks on. We could see a vendor item in Onrak. We don't have Loose, we don't have Sea Shrine on, so we don't really have a need to go to Sea Shrine at the moment, since it's not an incentivized location.
It's okay. We've got Brack. As long as we can make it to Crack, it'll be fine, right?
Absolutely.
Level what? Are we 6 or 7? Level 6 or 7 party can make it to Crack, and no problem.
Yeah, Brack, Piranha Dream. That's all you need. Yeah, we're level 6 right now. All right, what we got? Oh,
Well,
Here's that TNT we didn't want to see. Alright, so 10 grand TNT in Elfland. So we'll put a pin in that and come back once we have some cash, because we're sitting at like 1900 right now. And we still want to see a sweep. Hey, look, Ice 3. That's not bad.
It's not, except for the fact that we're going to Marsh, which does have a decent amount of undead, sadly.
True. Oh, we have cake. I mean, undead love cake, right?
And hey, look at that level 3, though.
Yeah. I do potentially have the Crescent, so without warping, I might hit up that area. Maybe I can fight some overworld encounters to try to get this money together here. Plus, I got some pretty cheap tents here, so we'll see.
Something else to note, this is a really good reason why White Mage is better, because at this point, you've seen that both life spells, they're both completely locked out of Red Mage.
Yep, very good point. I think the, what was it, Life 2 is in the bottom slot, so they would have had it on promotion, but with this Black Belt comp, you wouldn't be promoting until after a grind, and depending on when we make our way to Ice or Volcano, which are probably going to be like the two preferred grind spots for Greg, you know, that may still be a little ways off, depending on how things fall out here. So that's a long ways to go without life.
Yeah, and actually, no, it wouldn't even be. The Red Mage does not get any extra 3 slots, or level 3 slots.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
It's level 4. Level 4. It's 1 and 4.
That's right, brain fart. Sorry.
It's okay. I know my Red Mages. I got you.
It's been a long week for me, so.
So I'm gonna roll quick because you guys might notice that I'm dropping tents here and there. It's just because of those silly sahags with their lit tube. I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, I can't blame you. You've got a good run off a hard reset too.
Yeah.
All right, so Crescent Lake is our target here. Got some giants. They're not a bad find. They're really good for gold. So depending on how these fall out here, you know, we might be able to get the TNT money just from getting in and out of Crescent Lake from the giants. That's a good 3,300 gold right there. Oh, poor White Mage.
Yeah, what is even turn order?
Not something you get when you want it. Only when you don't want it is when you get it.
It's improved enemy turn order, guys. Come on.
It's okay. You didn't want me to be alive anyways, right?
Now I'm going to point out something here real quick. Because we have heal 3 kind of early, normally I wouldn't grab all these heals, but because we know we're going to eventually do a grind at some point, I do want these heals.
And it's kind of something you want to note about heal potions. Once you have the money for them, you really want to probably try to buy them as soon as possible, just because it's the idea that you'd rather have them and not need them than be in a situation where you wish you had them and then didn't buy them.
Yeah, like Greg's stream is cutting out, but I don't know if he realized that his heal pot purchase didn't go through, as he picked up one in the dwarf cave.
And considering what we've seen in armor shops,
Heads up.
Oh,
I sure didn't notice.
Hey, there's a cube from the sages. So looks like we're going back to Marsh and or at TNT.
yeah, one of those two. Also, considering what we've seen in armor shops at this point, granted, you know, we've seen most of the armor shops. I think the only ones we've missed are Melmond and Gaia. But we found pro rings, we found silver bracelets, we found gold bracelets. I don't believe Gregley is going to be checking any more shops for armor at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the only time we'd still need to hop in a shop here is just to sell something off if we need some cash. Because at least the gold bracelets were pretty expensive, but everything else is, I mean, we've already got our 3 silver bracelets. That'll pretty much last us until after we've done our grind and got all our gold. So the only thing we could be wanting for at this point is going to be TNT money and pro ring money. So Greg gonna check the encounter zones right here outside the Crescent Lake. We know we've got bulls and trolls in the 1. Snakes and scorpions, not a terrible fight.
That's pretty terrible.
It is pretty terrible. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad.
It's not my favorite thing I've ever seen. But with the experience, it's like whatever, it's fine. I'd rather take these battles here than I don't know, take the battles in Ice Cave. The battles in Ice Cave are significantly worse, objectively worse.
Plus, your only sweeper is Ice 3.
Yeah, luckily we got initiative on this pack, so this one will be nice and easy to go through here. So I think we're up to like 6K.
I was going to say, plus it's a good way for me to get an idea what counter table is going to look like for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So since this is a black belt seed, something else we'll teach our ducklings about black belt, because we kind of talked about the crit rate. What we didn't talk about, however, was how the black belt's unarmed damage as well as their absorb is calculated. It is pretty easy equation. Their damage is equal to 2 times their level, and their absorb is equal to whatever their level is. Assuming they're not equipped with a weapon, of course, for their damage, and as long as they don't have anything equipped armor-wise. In this case, Greg Lee, I believe, still has both his cap and his gloves equipped, so actually he's missing some absorb right now.
Yeah, I think it's just a couple points because.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, the cap and the cap and gloves got us up to 9 absorb.
So that's why I said something, because I knew you were at 9. I'm like, okay, I wonder if he's gonna go take him off on his own when he hits something past 9, or if he's gonna buy the silver bracelet just to kind of give it another boost, potentially. But we'll see what he does.
All right, looks like we're good on gold, so we're gonna scooch back on over to Elfland.
Not before the trolls stop us.
Mm-mm. They just want to give us a little bit of parting cash before we get out of the Crescent Lake area, just to make sure we've got a little bit of a buffer, just in case we run into something nasty here.
So here's the question for you guys. Should I try to hop in to get the incentive out, or should I turn in the TNT? Like buy the TNT and turn it in? What are you guys thinking?
I think you're going to need both at this point anyways, because you don't have canoe, you don't have floater, and really you're either going to get a fetch quest to another item from one of them, or you're going to end up with a canoe and floater.
Actually,
yeah, I'd probably do Marsh first, then I'd probably pop up and do the TNT after.
Hey, with my levels, I should probably at least check Melman's magic in case there's like warp or exit there, since I basically have the levels to pick those spells up. Oh, there's... okay. Yeah.
All right, let's see what Greg Lee found in the magic shops. Hey, there's a faded level 5. That's not terrible. Hey, and there's that warp we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So we do get 1 charge of it on each black mage at the moment, so that'll at least get us most of the way back out of Marsh.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so at this point, do I buy the warp and the fade here, but then have to try to get the other 6,000 gold so I can pick up the TNT, or do I just get the TNT and not worry about it, and then try to go into Marsh, and then walk it out of Marsh?
I mean, personally, I would skip getting fade for right now, because it's not hugely critical when the TNT is sitting there, but at least grab, at least 1 warp to help you out a little bit. Maybe not 2, just so you have that money for the TNT still. But, that's your call.
I'd probably, the play I'd make, I'd skip it completely right now. Just because I know that we don't have shuffled trap tiles, so the only fight we're going to have down there is wizards, on the trap tile at least. And we already know we have a fairly decent run off a hard reset, so you can probably make it at least down to, maybe not all the way to Marsh Bottom, before seeing a fight. Probably on that middle floor is where you get like your first 2 fights at. But if we're just going to beeline that one chest and get out, you know, we're not going to be picking up a lot of cash at this point.
I'll probably just take battles along the way. See if I can get back to that 10 grand.
As long as it's not Sahagins.
Yeah, we don't want to fight those guys. All right, so into Marsh we go. Are you inclined at all to open any boxes on the way down, Greg? Or are you just going to go right to the incentive box? You're going to get out?
I'll consider opening. I'll probably open like the free chest that I can do. The what the hell? The soft box or the not the. That's what's in the box in vanilla, but the link chest that's on Marsh 2, and then I'll probably open the room with the 2 chests in it that has the other link chest.
Did you go on off a hard reset?
No.
Okay. I was like, we shouldn't have had a fight. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I went on ahead and went in, not off the hard reset. Isn't that? All right, so yay.
All right, so I think we're back up to TNT money at this point. I think it was 10-7, so.
Yeah, we're definitely at TNT money. Stun touch mucks, oh boy.
Yeah, they're gonna be a lot of fun. You know, we may see them again in Volcano, depending on how things roll, so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nice thing is, you know, Ice 3, arguably the best of the, or the highest damage rolling potential out of those tier 3 spells. So nice that we haven't caught a lot of undead packs down here quite yet. So let's just actually, you know, kill everything with the sweeper that we have. That's going to do the guaranteed damage. And probably at this point, a guaranteed kill on everything in this dungeon. Hey, there's a...
Oh, that was a nice thing to find.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
So instantly that black belt's going to be sitting up there like, what, 30... mid-30s for the absorb now, so that's going to be a really nice way to tank some damage.
The wizards are unrunnable.
Yeah, that's the main reason why you guys got the oh come on out of me. Not happy about that.
They just want to guarantee you got that the TNT money. So now we got Crown.
I mean, we do have to say, don't we? Is this even randomized?
Mm-hmm. First there's the wizards, and there's a Crown. I bet Astos won't even be Astos.
Probably not. All these unrunnable encounters in here are just making me take an EXP. Like, got ridiculous levels so far.
I mean, the game knows you want to punch things with that black belt. The game knows you really want that cash for the TNT, so it's just trying to do you a favor. That's all it is.
Which is, yes, is kind of a good way to talk about it. Is when you're talking early game with black belts, you do need to kind of prep the black belt before you get to your grind spot, unless you have something with like item magic or something like that and find a good grind where you can use that item magic. Because beginning, the black belt isn't really all that special. He's not going to do a lot of damage. He's going to get hit like a truck because he can't really wear armor, and unless we find like gold bracelet and things like that. But he's not going to be able to really do the solo grind that we're going to end up more than likely seeing later.
Look at that. This game.
Hey, look, it's Astos again.
Are we sure we turned that on?
Pretty sure it's turned on. Let's see how much HP this fool has since, what do we have? 300 to 500% HP?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see, we're up to like 180. So while we're watching Greg sit here and chunk away at Astos, just to kind of expand on Link's point, the other thing going against that black belt grind is unless you find a really early Masa, you don't got any good weapons for a black belt. I mean, I think the best thing he can wear is the iron nunchucks. So
yeah, that or the power staff is decent as well.
Yeah, but it's not something you're going to want to rely on, especially when you already have the plan of, okay, I'm either going to be punching Agamas or I'm going to be punching Eyes, and depending on how they roll, you know, you don't want to go in with a weapon that's going to be hitting for like 20 damage, because that's just going to make your grind unbearable. So I mean, it's nice to see. On one hand, it's nice to see, I guess I should rephrase myself, the unrunnable fights early, because it's kind of forcing you to kind of get that punching power built up a little bit. Because I think we've seen the black belt already hitting like 4 hits for like 130 damage, which should be totally satisfactory for, you know, when we get to our grind, given that we haven't found any like of the sweeper spell casting items yet. So we haven't found a Thor hammer, we haven't found a mage staff, we haven't found like a black shirt or anything like that.
I mean, granted, you know, Gregory's checked all like, you know, 3 boxes, I think. So we're not going to find them with him not checking boxes.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is a thing too.
Hey, look, there's Nuke. Level 4. That's convenient.
We're talking about not finding sweepers. We have a good sweeper now. Got level 4 wall, level 4 invis 2.
I was going to say, at least at this point, we know what the TNT is going to turn into.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really turn into anything else.
I mean, it could be the crystal.
That is true.
Or the
Could be.
yeah.
No. Never mind. We don't know what it's going to turn into. But all paths lead to the canoe.
Yeah. That's the biggest takeaway here is, you know, we know that our progression options at this point are extremely limited. You know, we've already found our vendor items, so we're not going to go sailing up to Honor Act to check the shops there. We're not going to go dive Sea Shrine open boxes because there are no loots and Sea Shrine isn't incentivized. So, yeah, we know TNT is the path forward. It's just how it mediates or how far of a fetch quest is it going to give us. Is it going to be like, oh, thanks for the TNT, take my nice canoe? Is it going to be, oh, hey, go and talk to some other people first? You know, and that's what we'll be finding out here in just a second.
Which honestly, you almost might be happy with the long fetch quest because it's forced. It's not something it's like, oh, well, you know, I did this all on the bow or the boat, which we do get the canoe. Compared to it's like, well, if I would have had the floater, this would have been so much faster. Just because you're getting extra EXP for every single fetch or for every single key item we're getting. So sadly, it's just the canoe. So it is still a bonus to experience, but not as much if we maybe did get a long fetch chain.
Yep.
All right. So I don't have the money. I don't think I have the money for a second warp. I don't. So I'm just going to go on ahead and
yeah, I think
not
it was
worry about it.
600, so.
Yeah, it was something like that, which is fine. I mean, it's gonna be fine. Because that's got to be, because at this point, there's only 2 other places I could potentially go to. And because I'm running a black belt and I want to potentially do a grind, I'm going to go on ahead and hit up Ice Cave. If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably go to Ordeals, because Ordeals is a quicker dungeon and it's not like through this insane river system. But since I know I need to get a grind done, I'm going to go on ahead and hit this place up now.
So are you leaning towards grinding on the eyes, or are you leaning towards grinding on the Agamas?
I haven't really, we'll see, because I do have because of the flag that's on with the save when game over thing. I mean, the eye becomes a much safer grind, because if I do take a wipe on an off tile encounter, I'm going to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And with the only thing that scares me is with vanilla tiles on, if the drop down ends up having one of those 4 enemies have something scary, like if Geist have, I don't know, crack or something stupid, then I could potentially wipe there on the way out. But again, it's not a huge deal if I wipe getting out of here because of the save when game over. But we're going to find out real quick right now what these guys have.
Yeah, and that's a lot of really kind of just being aware of what your flags are. So that was the entire purpose of putting that save on game over flag on for this particular week, is because, you know, you've got 2, maybe 3 locations to really do a static grind with this black belt. And nothing feels worse than saying, hey, I'm gonna be really optimal with my grind. We're gonna get rid of everybody but the black belt. And then you take 2 steps and you get ambushed and something hits you that maybe you shouldn't have with MDef that you have at like level 42, whatever you stopped at. So it's kind of just a way to be safer with it. It's like, hey, we'd hate for something to happen, so let's let it not.
Yeah, which we've got a question in chat that I'll ask Greg Lee. Reese asks, if you were planning to do ice, why not sail west and enter from the riverway north of the Crescent Dock instead of sailing back to the inner sea?
All right. Oh, because I'm going to probably do Volcano at some point? I don't know. It's just, I was already in the Inner Sea, and that's one of the docks I wanted to do. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about it. That's the dock I always do when I'm in the Inner Sea.
I think it's shorter at that point because if you're planning it to, death warp out and save all your progress.
And I'm doing, it's basically a 50-50 at this point. I'm either going to get the floater here, or I'm going to get the floater on Ordeals, and either way, it's going to be a long sail to get the Ordeals from here.
The other thing, and I guess this is what I was thinking about why the Inner Sea might just be better, is it granted, we do have to find the floater or something leading to the floater here in Ice Cave or up in Ordeals, but if it is either like the key or the crystal, we're already in the Inner Sea with the boat, instead of having to then either walk from where we are and then go back to the boat, or sail all the way back to the Inner Sea.
Yep, very good point.
Now, normally I wouldn't check, with this particular party, I wouldn't check the better spike treasure because of the warp charge, but I do want to go on ahead and just point it out in case something good does end up there. So we only have 2 warp charges, right? I'm going to want to use warp here to so that I can up to this hole, which you guys will see here in a second. That way I'm like right here and I can check these treasures. The one on the right here is the better spike treasure. So it's going to have one of those mini items. It could be something as useful as a ribbon or a mass immune, or it could be something as completely useless as like maybe an ice shield or I don't know, a flame armor or something that wouldn't be quite that beneficial.
Maybe like an opal gauntlet or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to find out real quick, and well, that's good. So, and of course, because you guys mentioned the one thing, the one item I get here would probably have worked out better if I had docked in the place that you mentioned, but it's fine. Because if I wipe here, then I'll be back at Canary, and that's kind of quicker. So,
yep,
it's all good. Anyways, we're going to go on ahead and...
There's our second ribbon. So that is not our incentive ribbon. That is just a loose ribbon that happened to roll up in one of those better trap treasure chests that Greg was mentioning.
Yep. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually go into this hole here on the right, and I'll explain why here in just a second. I'm going to take this battle because there's something I need to do to the rest of my party. I'm already tired of their existence. I mean, I love you guys, Link and Dark Moon and Ale. You guys are my buddies, but you guys got to go.
Not today.
Not today. Because we already have everything we need. So if the eyes have something stupid that I don't want to have to deal with, or if I take a wipe on them, I've already got the ruby. I've already got everything I need here, and I'll be back at Canaria anyway. So it's not like a huge thing that happens here if I end up wiping, going back up to this eye.
It's okay. You'll pick us back up after you do all your lifting and get to be a strong black belt.
Exactly. See, and this is kind of a vet move here, where you'll use these damage tiles down here to get your party down to 1 HP, and then use warp to warp back to the spot so that it makes the eye grind a little bit more efficient.
Just watch out for the banana peels, Greg.
Huh?
Just watch out for the banana peels.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you'll want to do is what Greg was doing. Instead of sitting there in a fight with an eye, and who knows what it has at this point, as far as like punching ability or skills or spells, he's taking the little ice damage tiles here to get everyone down to 1. He heals the black belt up to full.
That's sexy right there.
Uh-oh.
Well, I haven't seen what the eye does, but
Oh, well.
I'm just saying how much HP the eye has makes me happy.
Yeah, 1 punch or 1 round of damage for 100 something, and it's down. Yeah, it'll be easy. So now what we're going to do for a little bit is just go back and forth. Hopefully the eye does something, get rid of our other intrepid light warriors here. Taking Ale out first.
The eye doesn't like you today.
Oh.
Poor you.
There's a reason I never name characters after myself, and it's because it's always a bad idea and a jinx, and this just proves it. I mean, apparently my mark in the Black Mage has a bullseye on him.
Yeah, I won't kill anybody else. That has no desire. He this is the turn order I need in the game.
Mhm.
Oh, come on.
So I guess since we're gonna be sitting here and Gregley's probably gonna be well, here's a frost giant that might do some work. Never mind.
Actually, this ended up working out pretty well. No. Okay. So I want to talk about something real quick.
There you go.
We are really, I was going to say, we are really lucky we saw a ribbon in that one chest there.
Oh yeah, frost
yeah.
and glare.
Yeah, frost and glare, that's no fun.
So yeah, now that everybody's sufficiently dead except the black belt, we're gonna see Puff, the black belt, be pounding on some eyes for a while, punching them to where they can't see. We did have a question in chat regarding, let's see, what is the target level for a black belt here? So it's gonna kind of depend on your flags and where you feel comfortable with a black belt. The main breakpoints for a black belt that you really care about are 12, 21, 32, and 42. That's when they get their extra hits. The big one is kind of the 21 level. That's usually when, unless we find an eye with low health like we did, that's typically when your black belt is good to where you'll be able to do a solo grind. 32, depending on what kind of stats and HP the bosses have, is where you start to consider potentially stopping your grind, maybe. But when we have potentially health where it's 300 to 500, this is usually where we're going to end up taking it to 42.
Yeah, I can agree with that here, and we'll see how far Greg takes this. But the other thing to keep in mind too is we do have that patrolling war mech. So depending on how Greg feels when he gets into Sky later on in the run, he does have that extra pot of EXP there waiting at the end to kind of maybe bolster the rest of his character's levels, depending again on the order in which we do all these dungeons. So that's nice too. And if you go 42, odds are with the other encounters you're going to hit, you'll probably have a max or pretty near max level black belt at that stage of the game. And like Link was saying, with actual boss stat scaling, it's probably overkill, but we want to see big damage. We want to see big punches. So the higher the level we get, the more fun it'll be.
Yeah, and I mean, already, everybody's been dead for what, like maybe 3 minutes, and I'm just now, like on my screen, I'm just now hitting 32. So, and this is going by pretty quickly. My thing is, I'll probably go to 42 because of the HP pool on the bosses, especially when you're talking about dealing with war mech that could potentially have between 3,000 and 5,000 HP. Worst case scenario is I find war mech, I kill him, and then I get even more levels.
Yep. It's really a good planning ahead too, because it's the boss stat scaling, like we touched on a couple times. It's not just for like chaos; it's for everybody that's a boss. So we already saw it with Garland, we saw it with Astos. All the first Fiend fights and all the elemental dungeons, or all the Fiend dungeons, they're all scaled up as well. So Carrie's going to have a bucket load of HP. So hey, the more levels we have, the easier it'll be to knock her out in one round.
Well, we didn't see it on Garland. Garland got bracked, but
oh, that's right. But yeah, I think what's his default in the vanilla game, like 120?
106, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, so if you're at 300, he's guaranteed to have a minimum of 318. So.
Yep.
No quad X in Garland. That's when it feels bad.
So here's the thing when I'm done here. Now the good thing about black belts is that they have great MDef per level. It's 4 per level. But it's going to actually be a problem here because it would actually be quicker for me to unequip the ribbon and see if this eye will land glare on my black belt so I can take a wipe here.
I would say actually just drop down a level. Only equip like either the gloves or the cap, whichever one's got the lower blursing value, and just let that undead pack beat on you for a bit.
Yeah, that could work too. That's not a bad idea actually. I'll just do the ribbon -1. That's
there you go.
About as low of HP as I can possibly get, and I can wipe here and then be back at Canaria. It's way quicker than trying to get out of here and then sail back over there.
I would almost say do the cap over the ribbon in case they do have a spell or a skill and you're taking more damage from that if that does happen.
All right. So I'm at 42 now. I'm at 3 something, HP or whatever. So yeah, I think I kind of agree with this. The only thing is that morale could be a thing. It looks like it's only a thing for the images right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, we also have the, I think you've got, what, Frost Dragons or the White Dragons
Yeah.
in that side room as well. Worst case scenario, you can always go run around in the ice damage tiles for a hot second.
Yeah. Now, I've only played with this flag like a couple times. I need to make sure that I see the game over screen before I reset. Is that correct? How
I
does that
think you
work?
just keep mashing the A button through it because it'll kick you back
Okay.
to the main screen. Then you hit continue, I believe, and it'll.
So
put you
don't
right back in the
reset
canary.
is what I need to know.
Yeah, don't reset.
reset.
Okay.
It should pop you in.
And that actually popped me right out here. I thought it would take me back to Canaria. So actually, I should have just walked out.
Oh, that's. I guess
Crazy.
because the ship wasn't docked at like an actual dock, because that's what the flag I believe says is the last place the ship is docked, which should be the river system.
Nah, well,
But apparently, it actually has to be an actual dock, not a.
okay, that's fine. It's fine. It might have been quicker to just die there and be out of this place than to try to walk my black belt out of there. So that's fine.
It's fine.
You could have had an app be unrunnable.
Yeah.
Now we can yell about the tooltip in the dark and be like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah. What are you even thinking with your tooltips, sir? All right. So we have the ruby. That's the next thing that we got to do, right? So we got to like sit, go all the way back around here, sail over to Melman. I'll pick up warp and may as well grab gold bracelets. Where were the gold bracelets? They were in Crescent. Is that correct? If they were in Crescent, I'm not going to grab them.
Crescent had the pro rings.
Yeah, Crescent had pro rings. I want to say golds were
Provoke.
Golds were in either. Okay. I trust you guys. Since they're in Provoke, I'm not going to go over there either.
All right, so guesses in chat where we've got our boat. Oh, it's still in the same spot. Womp womp.
Womp womp.
All right, so what are we thinking, Greg? We gonna go do the ruby turn in and go check our 2 items? You gonna go roll the dice and go hit up ordeals?
I'll probably check the 2 items first. I mean, I got a 67% chance that this will be the right play.
There you go. Let's scale that back to 50 because you've got ordeals and waterfall.
Waterfall is a place that was something we talked about before the run. We haven't used Northern Docks in so long. We're kind of we've rewired our brain to forget that Waterfall is a place. Now I have to remember it's a place again.
Yep, and I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you to, if you want it, you can pick up the that fade on your white mage, and you can pick up that warp on your other black mage.
And I gotta do the slab translation as well. Can't forget
There
that.
you go.
That's a thing. I don't even want to. Why? Oh, god dang it! I'm so mad at myself. I thought I had saved, but I didn't. Now I feel
It's
kind of
fine.
silly. Wait,
It's fine.
what am I even doing?
We just get bonus points for repeatedly feeding the Titan today.
Okay, I'm losing my mind. I did warp, but did I even check these boxes? Am I smoking? What am I doing?
I don't
here?
feel like you checked them, because
Yeah,
I don't see a key item that we don't have.
There
You were prepping to do the warp trick, but I think you reset instead of saving.
That's what it was. I know what I did. Yes, exactly that.
Hey,
The
there you
things that
go.
you're saying. All right, so this is something I've learned from watching the game before. If you get the floater there, god damn it! I mean, gosh darn it! Oopsie. Language.
We were actually having this debate in chat the other a couple days ago whether if you get the floater from Titan, if you continue and walk back over to Sarda to check, or if you just beeline to the airship and check Sarda later.
Yeah, I think it's. I heard from Thunder it's quicker to go this way. So, and we'll make our way back over here and get fade and all that nonsense.
Yeah, because our one mission right now is to go get airborne, because that opens up a lot for us.
Yep. Plus, we can head up. We can go back to Crescent, get pro rings, and then Boca and get gold bracelets if we really want them, since they did roll +4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we can just start knocking out any sort of fetch quests, and then get through the rest of the game.
Yeah, so here, looking at it, I'll jump in and talk over you for a second, Greg.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So it looks like we've got still ordeals on the table. We still got to go check with Sardis, so don't forget that. We're going to go ahead and, as far as key items to complete the game go, we can at least knock out Volcano and Sea Shrine, because you don't need anything to get into Volcano, and we've already got the Oxy Ale. As far as the rest of the items go, though, we're still looking for the loot, the key, and the rod, and the chime in order to go through and finish everything out. So turn-ins left, we've got the slab to do, we've got the ordeals play to make, we've got the waterfall play to make. We'll get the key from somewhere. We got Canaria locked on the table as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we still got a little bit of routing around to do, but it's nice that you already have the grind done, because at this point it'll really help make the back half of the game a lot quicker.
Yeah, and pretty much the only thing that loose out there that we don't technically need is what was the thing? The ribbon. The ribbon, the other ribbon. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want that ribbon, but I don't need it. Where I'll pretty much everything else.
Yeah, and this is something that we can talk about strategy too. So, we know there's going to be another ribbon out there somewhere, like we just talked about. We just don't know where it's going to be. So depending on how our routing goes here, and depending on where different items fall, we may never need to hunt down that second ribbon.
Well,
and like Greg said, go ahead, Greg.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just now realizing something.
You're fine.
But I actually was going to say I hadn't seen Temper, but I forgot that I found Temper like way earlier in the game. It was like level 1, I think. So never mind.
So we had Temper, Brack, and Bane there.
So originally I was thinking, I might need class change just so I can have Fast and Temper, but not so much.
I guess that was going to be my question, because we've seen all of 1 through 5. We're still missing Fast, if I'm not mistaken, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't think we are, but I'm not either. So
yeah, we haven't seen Fast, so I'm not that concerned about it because we do have Temper at level 1, so we should be fine. Plus with the boss scaling, where the boss scaling doesn't, we're not going to have a max evade boss where Fast is going to really be that necessary. I think we'll be fine. I'm gonna risk that we'll be fine.
Well, I know it's still potentially learnable.
You don't want to go massive damage on Chaos? You're going to on that?
I mean, I could put.
I mean, it's still potentially learnable. The Black Mage
true.
does have a couple slots left on 7 before promotion's required, so it's like 25% chance we can get Fast.
Yep.
Hey, there's our bottle, so there's another fetch quest down.
Yeah, and now that I'm doing slab and bottle, I can knock all those out at the same time. And I don't need to check any more item magic shops or anything anymore since we found the vendor item and we have like basically the best gear we can have for our mages. So we're pretty much done checking that stuff.
Yeah, so shop trips are going to be pretty much out the window at this point. So, but yeah, let me rewind real quick just to finish up the thought about the one ribbon. So, I'd say in the particular flags that we've got going on tonight, we aren't really in dire need of finding that second ribbon, even though it's going to be guaranteed from a key item location. So it's great if we luck into it by routing chance, but if we get like go mode and we haven't found it, there's no need to hunt it down. The reason I say that is we've got both spells, or both tiers of the life spell, at levels 1 and 3. So as long as that white mage is protected, everybody can get brought back up pretty much readily through any battle. And I can't foresee a lot of fights that are going to withstand the power of that level 42 black belt, or whatever level he's at by the time we get there.
I mean, I could think of a couple things, but that's, just the skills and spells rolling completely terrible, as well as the script that happens too.
Yeah, and chat pointing out too that Greg also has wall, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't matter. We just found an center ribbon. So at this point, Ordeals is going to be on the table for me. Ordeals is kind of one of those places I skip at this point, just because it's kind of, it takes a little while to get to airship wise. So that's the one I kind of hope that the ribbon ends up at. But obviously, we have confirmed that we will be checking all incentive locations.
Mm-hmm.
So Ale, how do you feel about being the one person not protected by the ribbon?
Oh, it's great. that is my one duty. That was my duty in co-op. That's my duty when I run these flags or any flags and I have a character named after myself. It's I'll be that one up front to take the shot, and it's honestly a secret way to get to max HP real fast because you just get hit with that life 2 and bam, you're right there.
Yeah. So as you guys probably saw, Link called it with the 25%. I do have fast. I do not need to do class change at the end.
Yep. It's at level 7, but on the other hand, it's fine.
What I just got.
I don't know. Actually, you did skip. Hey, a didgeridoo.
A didgeridoo.
Oh boy,
excellent.
I know. I don't know. I feel like I need to break it out and just haunting sounds of something. Just the relaxing sounds of low bass tones.
All right, so off to our deals we go. Did you ever grab that second warp cast?
I did. I grabbed that and Fade while I was doing the slab translation.
Excellent. So warp is definitely, I know we've touched on this for the past 2 weeks, but again, I can't stress enough how much fun and how convenient warp makes ordeals.
Yep.
When we're rolling through there.
Do you guys want to talk
about tile walk? Go ahead.
I was going to ask if you guys want to talk about the didgeridoo real quick, since we kind of just talked over that part.
Yeah,
you guys mentioned
so one of the really fun flags that's conveniently and coincidentally down in the fun percent is our multi-instrumentalist Sarah. So we cultivated a list of 50, 70, 80 musical items / instruments, and I say musical items because I don't know if I'd call a song an instrument. But we've thrown some variety out there, so all it does is just spices up what instrument we use to break that plate and over. So we've seen things such as a hurdy-gurdy, we've seen a double bass, we've seen trumpets, poems, limericks, clarinets. The vanilla lute is still in there for all the vanilla faithfuls.
Organs.
And organs, cymbals, gong. So didgeridoo is the instrument of the night tonight.
Man, you guys are about to see something I did not expect to see at the level that I'm currently at.
Oh wow.
Opera +2, that'll do it.
Oh no, that horse just decided he did not want to have anything to do with my punch.
Yeah, it was a super evasive nightmare.
Yeah, it was. The thing of nightmare.
See what you did there.
So
there's
you
our
did.
chime.
So when we called the black belt One Punch Man, apparently that nightmare had other ideas.
Just proving that.
Hold my beer.
All right, Greg. So what are you thinking? So you've got chime and cube. Are you inclined, since you're already here, to go up in the sky, or are we going to keep going elsewhere for the time being? Excellent.
Yeah, I'm going to go to routing. Just makes sense. I'm right next to it, and I already know where everything is that I need. At this point, we know that key is going to whatever leads to key is going to come out of waterfall, and whatever leads to rod is going to be key locked. So we don't really need to do waterfall prior to. And we're right here. So
exactly. So yeah, it looks like the only things left to find, unless we've mismarked something on the tractor, we've got the crystal, the rod, and the key. So the key can't, for those who want to, try and figure out routing and everything at home and kind of see how we can think of, where things will land. The key can't lock itself into the canary lock chest, so we know that's not going to be a thing. We only really have 2 more incentive locations left to go, being the robot in the waterfall and then the canary lock box. So we are not going to get, say, well, I guess we can just get the key from the robot and then get crystal to rod and canaria. So there's a couple more ways to go about it, but you're not going to get something like the rod from the waterfall robot.
Yeah, the rod is going to be on Montoya. It's guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, unless the crystal comes out of here, and then
you can still get crystal to key, and then that's rod is locked. So yeah. So the point is, you're not going to get it won't be rod and waterfall. So you've got to do waterfall in order to get the key, and then you have to go and get the key to get the rod, because we've already eliminated the rod as anything else but the endpoint to that the Canaria lockbox. So from a routing perspective, that's where you can know, hey, I've already got Oxyel, we've already got Chime and Cube. So instead of doubling back across the world, we're going to go ahead and hit up the sky first. We'll go over there, we'll do the waterfall. We'll get whatever that is, whether it's the crystal or the key. We'll do Sea Shrine while we're there. And then from there, we can go down, we can turn that in, and then we can make the choice of either doing Volcano or Earth, because they're pretty much equidistant. And then we'll do the opposite, then we're in Dover. So
Equidistant. So I am forced to fight all the three-headed hounds of hell in the world, but finally got through that. Here's the real question. Now that I'm, you guys will get caught up to me. Now that I'm on the Sky Maze, and we know we have a patrolling Warmech. Am I looking for Warmech?
absolutely.
Oh, if we are looking for Warmech. Okay, just making sure that's what we're doing.
Because worst case scenario, we don't find Warmech and you have to fight all these unrunnables. Best case scenario, you find them right next to the teleporter and you can just carry on with your day.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's fun for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, may as well. Ooh.
And chat's kind of demanding it too, so it's the right thing to do. We have to
I
keep
think
chat happy.
I kind of have to agree as well. I mean, I don't want to let chat down.
I mean, we want to see the power of the black belt, that 42 black belt. We want to see how hard it punches.
Plus, I need levels for fast. So,
Yep.
it just makes sense, guys.
Let me pose a question to you here, Greg. So while we're walking around looking for Warmech, do you have any thoughts of moving that white mage out of the second slot?
That'd probably be a good idea. Probably not the worst idea I've ever had to get because I don't want to lose life in life too.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of,
I was just gonna say, it's like maybe I was like Gregory just likes me more. That's why, because
now I will say I'm completely lost here, so I'm not sure.
Well, you kill the robot, you warp back, and then you just go. You're down and left.
Yes, of course.
that's assuming both black mages are alive when this is over. But
Well,
We'll find
that's
out.
assuming my white mage is alive.
oh yeah, that too.
All right, so a couple tempers. Let's see what happens here. Okay.
Warmech didn't
Only
punch very hard.
113. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Let's show the Warmech how to punch, shall we? Hey, there's a good hit. 1799. I like it.
Oof. Next hit.
All right, more tempers. 2309. Excellent, excellent. Look at that. Easy peasy, 22,000 EXP. I'm pretty sure those levels will get you those fast casts now.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm okay. Yeah, so Warmech, Twitch instrumental pointing out in chat, that HP though, yeah, Warmech was going to have between 3,000 and 5,000 HP due to the scaling. We're rocking 300 to 500% HP scaling, but the stat scaling is only 60 to 140. So while the bosses will have a lot of HP, they're not going to be like ridiculous.
Yeah, like we said, this is like the black belt. How hard can you punch, world tour?
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's a damage sponge, and you just want to have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not having fun with the game, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, Duckling introduction to black belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We want you guys to have fun when you first join. Then we play flags that are no fun.
There you go.
But then we've already sucked you in, so you can't leave. Right? Isn't that how it goes? The old...
Joke's on you. I'm still having fun with these flags.
Oh.
So I would just like to point out that we're abstaining, well, Greg's abstaining from the temper strats. And it's kind of showing that you shouldn't be using Brack when you have a 44 black belt, 45 black belt now. You should just power them up and punch. You would have been done already.
Yeah, really. Hey, that's not true, Reese. I like black belts as well, which is why I'm playing the seed.
Yep. Greg called dibs the moment we said we're doing black belts one week. He's like, it's mine.
That's mine. I'm running this one.
He's straight up like pinged us like I'm running the next one. Like before anybody even volunteered or said anything, I'm running next one. Like okay, sure.
Yep. And Reese is correct. So yeah, 2 people out of a community of 1,300, I guess, does make us the minority.
Yeah, I mean, it's the nice thing, and this is why we include flags like this in the Duckling boot camp. You want to try and become well versed with the different party comps you can run. You want to become well versed with the different character strategies. And the only way you're going to learn how to effectively use the different characters is if you actually keep them in your party and play them. So what better way to do that than to force you to take something like, hey, the only melee you can take is a black belt. No taking like fighter black belt and leaving the poor black belt dead the entire season. And what better way than that to force you to actually level your black belt is by making everyone have a ton of HP.
I can give them a reason why we're forcing them to learn all their classes.
What's that? Link?
One of them is gonna win the Duck Derby, which means they have to race me, and we're drafting. So you're forced on your party comp.
So that's what a look ahead for 2 months from now when that's happening, I guess. So be prepared.
10 weeks, something like that.
Somewhere around that general area.
And before the new duck versus old duck race is going to be 4 black belts.
Hey, I've done stuff with 4 black belts.
Come on.
All right, so let's see what we get here. So what are you thinking, chat? You guys thinking key or you thinking crystal? Hey, it's key.
Yep, it's key into crystal into rod.
Yep. Poor Greg ignoring all the robots' boxes that he's been hoarding for millennia. He probably had the 3rd ribbon sitting right there, and poor Elmarkin could have been protected, but alas, it'll never be.
Yeah, I mean, I just want Dark Moon and Link to be fine.
They're what matters here.
The robots added another text box, like, hey, by the way, one of these boxes is a ribbon. You want to protect that one mage? Nah, he's fine.
He's okay. He's doing fine. I'm going to put him in the second slot just to make sure he gets a 25% chance of getting hit too.
Right. It's like the old game from the old game show from the 70s with Monty. It's like one of these doors has your prize behind it. Which one do you want? You can pick one of these treasure boxes. One of them might have a ribbon.
Walk away.
FYI, Greg, before you keep going further in Sea, well, I guess as you're going further in Sea Shrine, chat has called for you to do Fiends in reverse order tonight. So if you would oblige us and kill Carrie after you kill Kraken, that would be exceptional.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I totally forgot I hadn't killed Carrie yet. So I would have gone into Temple of Fiends like with 3 orbs, like wondering what was going on.
Oh man,
because Carrie's usually the first one to kill. Oh my gosh, Nightmare Phoenix showing up with a rate of 6. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on? And speaking of, just welcome everybody for showing up. Anybody out there that's new to the community, that's enjoying these races, thank you for showing up and watching us do our thing. For those that just happen to tune into RPG Limit Break and you're like, man, Final Fantasy, I haven't thought of that game since like 1991. Yeah, this is the randomized version and you should totally join the Discord and hang out. And this is kind of how we play the game.
Yeah, check up a little bit. Jat2980 through our link for Discord up there in the chat. So hop on in. It'll be a lot of fun. Get you running the game. We're in week 3 of 8 for the Duckling Boot Camp, which is I think one of the more unique features of our community where we try and get new runners up to speed and exposed to a variety of flags and a variety of ways to approach the game and play the game. So it's a lot of fun. So Greg's showing off here that he'll never get into a fight walking across that bottom row there, just doing that door dance.
Yep.
Now we're going in and out of the door. Yeah. So yeah, all these are safe spaces. So this isn't exclusive just to this one particular floor. I think there's only like maybe 1 or 2 rooms in the game that don't follow that. They're both in Topher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically the bottom row of any inside room that you walk on you'll never have an encounter. And then the doorway itself and the tile in front of the door, they're always going to be safe. All right, Kraken, let's see what we got today. We got a fast, we got a Invis 2, we got a temper. All right. 6 hits, 132. Greg, can you show the squid how to punch?
Yes, I can.
We got turn order 2, so yeah, I believe the Kraken is about to learn how to punch.
Let's see. Yeah, I'd say that was a good shot. 16 hits, 3,210 damage. I like that backwards numerical sequence you got there.
So I totally would have accepted you punching the sea troll. Be like, you didn't just see what happened to Kraken. It's about to happen to you too.
Yeah. So speaking of free tiles, so another fun little thing Greg's shown off here is whenever you are walking onto a river tile or walking off, it does not increase your step counter. So all these steps he's taking right now are also technically free. So if he does this properly, he will never get into an encounter in any of these sets of like 5 steps that he's taking. Of course, now he's going to paddling and he's trying to get something going on.
All right, let's see here. Here's the real question: how many counters am I going to get in Volcano?
Are you going to hard reset?
Yes.
I'm going to go with 2. You're going to get 1 random one, then you'll get carry.
Oh, see, I was thinking 2 random ones and then carry.
Yep, I'm saying 3.
Okay, so again, I think we saw me doing the damage tiles before, but why exactly am I only walking on damage tiles?
So just like the river system, walking in and off of the river tiles, anytime you're walking on a damage tile, it also does not increase your step counter with regards to rolling for a random encounter. So every single time you step on that damage tile, you're never going to get into a battle.
And at this point, Reese, I just parked my airship there to bother everybody, because you were not the first person or the last person to tell me about where I parked my airship.
We're keeping a tally of all the extra steps you're taking, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, please. That's very nice of you to say, Nightmare Phoenix. Your routing is going to be better than probably tomorrow.
Oh, we're gonna get 4, maybe another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because I messed up.
Yeah,
I don't know how to damage tiles.
It's fine.
Why did we let Greg run this again?
I mean, Bert already said you should have probably ran this over me. So,
all right, time for carry. I imagine we'll see similar battle strats. So, temper, fast, and viz too. Oh, no turn order this time.
fine. I actually would prefer this because I hope these 2 tempers go out before I can punch carry again. Just to see if we can get that damage up there.
I do have another question for you, Greg. Are you willing to humor chat tonight?
What's that?
I think we should let chat dictate how many rounds you temper up on chaos before you start swinging.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, it won't be something obscene like like 38 because we only have so many temper casts, but
And considering we saw Carrie get punched for almost 4,000 damage.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go, Link. Here we go. This is where we're gonna make all the big money happen.
Greg, did you get the rod?
Shh.
God damn it. I mean, my language again. I'm sorry. RPG Limit Break is done with me. The Fluxel's going to show up and he's going to just fire me as a person for making all the dumb mistakes and saying bad words. It's because I shouldn't have come here first. I should have gone. I should have done the key first and then gone to Volcano. But I messed up. I appreciate you guys helping me out there.
Oh, it's not you guys. That was entirely Link. I was hoping you were going to get down to the plate.
Oh, I was like, Ael's not going to remind him. There's no way he's going to.
Oh, no, that's why I kept talking. I was trying to distract him.
Yeah. All right, so again, remember, you're not going to be able to get through the rod-locked area without a rod. It's the rules.
There used to be a bug with well, I guess it wasn't even a bug with NPC Guillotine, which technically you could, but you don't do that in races because that's not how you do it. Honor system. But that's fixed
right.
All right, looks like everybody's going. It looks like everybody's been talking more about how many rounds of things I should be doing versus, my language. So that's at least good. So we're gonna do. What are we thinking? I mean, we got Septimus up all the way up to 6 rounds.
I think it'll depend on how many temper casts you have left by the time you get to chaos.
Yeah.
I got it. I know how we can do this. Don't worry.
Excellent.
I got this. Don't worry.
I'll let you figure it out.
I need to find the right. There we go.
Here's my real question: can you actually do more than 4 digits worth of damage in this game? Like, could I? Let's say, for instance, can I punch? I don't know.
I think this is the stream where we got to find out, Greg.
Okay, so I don't know if you'll have this many tempers, but here's how I decided. I went to the bots casino, and I rolled a 1d9. I got an 8, so basically probably however many casts of temper you have left, that's what you're doing.
So we're definitely going to see a nuke, is what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
might see 3. Who knows? Rando gonna rando. So I guess you can go 8 rounds or until your black mages are dead. Whichever gets their temper cast or their spell charges away first.
So what do you think? How many rounds of combat should I fight this thing?
With the vampire?
Yeah,
I think we should just punch him and move on.
Yeah.
it's a good idea.
Now, Lich, if you want to disrespect Lich 1, by all means.
I mean, I think Lich at least deserves some cake in this run.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I tried to brack Tia and then just punch Tia down, so I may as well at least try to feed Lich's cake while punching him in the face.
Or just show him your... No, you don't have a ribbon on your black belt anymore. I was gonna say, show him maybe like your hat or something, but...
Congratulations, Lich, you are the last fiend. Here's your cake.
He deserves it. He's a nice guy.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I heard
And-
it wholehearted, but that was just me.
And that right there just proves to pay, like, don't make any misinputs, because I didn't have to take those wizards. That cost me like 5 seconds because I like walked back and forth on a tile, and then I had to take an unrunnable wizard battle.
Oh, it's fine. For all you know, you were gonna have like arachnids with nuke on this floor, and you just avoided
Yeah.
it, so.
That is true. That's true. All right, let's see here. Cake, which I picked up, of course.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Am I gonna fully ding it up, or am I just gonna punch him one time and just kill
Oh
him?
no, you gotta wait.
Oh,
Doesn't want to do things. Womp womp.
womp womp. All right, so
I mean, Lich could have survived that, but
Mhm. But he chose not to. All right, so we're pretty much golden at this point. So all our orbs are lit, all our items are obtained. Our black belt's 48. I'm pretty sure we'll be 50 by the time we're on the bottom floor. So
yeah. What's our timer looking like right now? Like just over an hour?
12.
Hour 12? That's not bad.
Mhm.
Considering I basically last locationed everything. All I needed to do was actually pick up the TNT, you know, but I had to do everything else first. So
that's fine. All right,
And-
so go for dive. Here we go.
So I think what we should do, hey, look, more unrunnables, is we should let chat vote, or not vote, but they should gauge on how much they think the black belt is going to punch chaos for.
Could be a lot of fun.
I mean, should I just try to go to level 50?
I mean, the game really
that the
wants
goal?
you
I
to
mean-
hit 50.
I mean, it's going to happen if, yeah, clearly. Like, I'm just going to hit nonstop unrunnables the whole time, so I guess I will get to 50.
I mean, you didn't get a level off the first encounter with these guys, so
I'm going to go on ahead and get my one I think Luffy and Chad wondering how many buffs. I thought we were doing 8 rounds of buffs.
yeah, that sounds right.
Assuming we have 8 rounds of temper left, yes. I guess if you have to use them to get through Kraken, Tia, or any of those, it's acceptable. But at that point, you must blow all of your temper charges on chaos before punching.
Yeah, basically. That's fine. So 16 charges of temper. At what point does it loop around? Is it possible?
I'm wondering I'm starting to wonder if the damage will loop around. Maybe we can start healing chaos with our punches.
Who needs Cure 4? I'm just going to punch you and heal you for like 8,000 damage. It's okay.
I mean, that was one of the mechanics in later Final Fantasies, is you whack your friends with a heal stick to give them back their HP. So
Yes.
these are just heal fists. It's fine.
Oh man.
This is level 30 on your mages.
I know. It's fine.
So, question in chat: Super evasive chaos results in single hit after temper cast. The scaling on the stats is not very high compared to the health, so we aren't probably going to see a very evasive chaos.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't hit maximum attacks, I mean, we're going to have fast. I mean, we're upwards of like 20 hits at this point, so yeah, you may not have rounds where all 20 hits land, but on the other side, you'll probably have a fair number. So, all right, let's see what Lich has for us today. Oh, Bane taking out poor El Markin.
Oh. If only he had that ribbon that was in the waterfall.
It's fine. 2,620 damage. Puff is now level 50, so this black belt's not getting any stronger, which is probably bad news for all the rest of the fiends in this particular dungeon. Just do this real quick. Welcome back, Greg.
Maybe it's actually good news, because they're like, the black belt keeps getting stronger, and he's finally plateaued. He can't get any stronger anymore.
Only punch so hard at this point.
My biggest complaint is that when you have a character at 50, it can't just automatically shuffle the XP over to somebody else.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be a lot of fun. All right, coming up on the carry 2 fight. So I imagine we'll probably see a lot of the same battle strategies here. I mean, when you have a level 50 black belt that doesn't have the crit nerf on, your strategy is really throw out one fast, throw out one temper, and maybe throw out an invis too with your white mage if you're really feeling it. Let's see what we got. Oh, turn order does not like us. 1334.
2 critical hits, it looked like.
Ooh, throw out the nuke. I mean, might as well save those temper casts for chaos.
Ale's hanging on.
There we go. 7 HP is more than you need, so. But a 3,500 shot, yeah, it'll do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Carrie can't have that much health.
No, I think Carrie can have between what's 7 times 3? 2,100 and
3,500. So actually, yeah.
It's fine. We had that first round of damage too, so it wasn't looking good for her.
Yeah, Shide is wondering, wall on a level 32 black or level 50 black belt, does that even do anything? Probably not. Not exactly too sure why I even did that. All right,
I mean, better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So,
all right, time for Kraken 2, and Greg is going to be cheeky and keep that black belt up in the front slot. I like it. So more of the same. So we got fast tempers, or just fast and nuke. Oh, turn order says no again. Lit 2 doing Lit 2 things. So if this Kraken was scaled up like its HP is, this would be a terrifying fight, but...
Yeah, for sure.
Again, yeah, training dummy mode, 3,000 shot, we're good.
Yeah, if it was scaled up like that, you would be very, very happy to see Lit 2 on turn 1.
Oh, absolutely. It's like Greg and I are the same person. I appreciate you saving all your tempers for chaos. It's very nice of you.
Oh yeah, of course.
You could have used one of them this fight.
Oh, that's right. I could have, but I thought we were dumping all of our tempers. Oh yeah, we're doing 8 rounds.
8 rounds.
Okay, so we're counting them out, right?
Well, I mean,
8 rounds on each black mage. It's not like 1 and 2 in the first round.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Or until Ale gets nuked or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Ale. Can't have nice things.
Oh, we're fine.
All right, we don't want Greg to spoil this, so we're gonna make Greg. We're gonna silence Greg for a moment here. We don't want him to ruin it when we, he lets out a shriek when he hits for like 9999 damage and ruins all the fun. So, Link, you want to call the chaos fight?
Sure, why not? Which we're gonna be. Looks like we're gonna start with some wall. Oh, he's gonna protect Ale. Oh my goodness.
Feel the love.
Oh, he's doing it. I see. He's doing it to protect the tempers. That's what it actually is.
I like it. What a generous guy.
And yeah, Lit 2 doing Lit 2 things. So, and yeah, we're gonna wall puff just to be safe. And now it's temper time, and it's a good idea to wall because we saw Quad X. So in case something bad happens, no death resistance. He doesn't really care what your MDef is.
Yep, exactly. So, do we want to count that first round with the faceted temper as round one, or do we want to count double temper as the first round one?
We'll count it as a half a round because only one of the black mages got a temper off. Both black mages need to have one charge of temper left.
All right, awesome. So we'll go until that happens. Let's start having some fun in chat. Like, how high do you think these damage rolls are going to go? So start throwing out your guesses. I know, I think it was Jat threw out a number earlier, but if you guys want to throw out some guesses as to how hard Puff is going to punch when Puff finally punches.
Yeah, Lit 2 doing more Lit 2 things, so we're not seeing any scary spells. We haven't really seen skills yet.
Yeah, so far so good.
We've got 4 rounds of, so this is going to be 5 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some 7,000s, 55. Got some over 9,000s.
Yeah, I like the range here. I've seen a low of 1,700, a high of over 9,000. So my biggest fear right now is Greg mismenuing and punching halfway through.
I mean, I think he'll catch it. That's why the black belt's second and not fourth. So.
Right. Ooh, slow 2.
Oh, okay.
I think that hit the white mage though, so I think we're still safe.
It did. I am slow now. Ice 2 doing Ice 2 things, so yeah. This is definitely the chaos that we get to play with. Chaos is just like, I'm just, training dummy for you. Go ahead, buff yourself. We'll see how it happens. So we've got one more round because Dark Moon's got 1 charge left. Ale has 2, so he's got to do 1 more.
Oh,
and
pump a little extra in there. Why not? Hey, there's our nuke. Oh no. Bye, Dark Moon.
Oh, did he get? I think he got all his charges off. It's okay.
Yeah, I believe so. So run still is validated. We don't have to reset.
Oh.
6480.
Oh, and Chaos is still alive. So
here's a shot.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be dead here though. Lit 2 doing Lit 2 and 6990 20 hits by Chaos.
So I guess it's still technically a 2-round Chaos fight. So we only punched him twice, so. That was a lot of fun. Let's get Greg back in. Hello, Greg.
Hello.
How did you feel about that Chaos fight, buddy?
Oh, that was fine until that nuke came out. I was like, whoa. I like 8-slot nuke.
Yeah, it's really nice, right? So, so I mean, not a bad run. So, hour 22.
And that's
I think everything went pretty well, all things considered.
I mean, we were playing around on Chaos too, so
we played around a lot. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and I think that kind of showed off to, the importance of trying to make sure you get your money together for that vendor item and how important that vendor item can potentially be. So that was something that I noticed that the Ducklings had kind of forgotten about last week, was that the vendor item is a thing. So remember, the bottle is something that's always existed in the caravan and vanilla. Well, because we shuffle everything, that bottle that was in the caravan could potentially no longer be the bottle. It could be another key item, and then it could also get shuffled into a different item shop. Therefore, pretty much anywhere but Melmond and Lafayne. So
yep.
Now that we saw that and how important that TNT ended up being, because the TNT is what led us to the canoe, which eventually led us to the floater, due to the Ice Cave Ruby thing.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to really kind of understand your flags and what your routing options are at any given point in time. So even though we have Northern Docks on, as soon as you saw the vendor item there in Elflin in this particular trial seed for this week's flag set, there's no need to go to Onrak. Like, yeah, you can go dive Sea Shrine at level 6 or level 8, but for what? I mean, the best you can hope for is to get down to Kraken and get a cheeky Brack off. But that's a lot of stuff between you and Kraken, especially, things like lobsters tend to always roll nasty. So it's important to understand what your options are from a routing perspective and kind of eliminate things as you go. And so that's kind of like what Greg's talking about. You saw that vendor item. We can't get into Ice Cave. We can't get into ordeals, without the canoe, or at least without getting the canoe and the airship subsequently.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, main thing, especially with these flags, because of where the boss HP is be wary of an early Astos, landing on King and Sarah. And then, of course, the best thing is, like, make sure you have a good damage dealing spell or an insta kill for Garland, because Garland's not going to be a pushover in these flags. I don't think even like you could potentially roll a couple of bad fire 3s and still not be able to take Garland down, with 300 to 500% health. So just understand that that's something that could potentially happen, and that you may have to leave Garland and maybe go take on some pirates to get some extra levels first. Or if you don't have a kill spell at all at level 1, know that the pirates are still a thing that exists, or try to at least get a level before moving on.
Yep. Yeah, I think with the scaling, at least for the boss stats, I think the early game, like you mentioned, those Garland and Astos, I think they're probably the biggest hurdles for this particular flag set for this week for the Ducks. Because really, once your black belt gets going, like you guys all saw tonight, he's pretty much nigh unstoppable. So.
And one thing to know, when we say kill spell, that's not going to be Quad X for this either. Garland will be guaranteed to have more than 300 health, so Quad X is not going to work on Garland.
Yep. So, I mean, you could probably punch him once or twice and hope for turn order, but that's a lot of hope.
Oh yeah,
you don't know how high he rolled.
So. He could roll anywhere from 318 to 530, so that could be a lot of damage you have to do still.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I think that was a great seed. That's just a fun seed. I think that's the one thing, like, while we are, we do speed run this, there can be a competitive nature to speed running, of course. At the end of the day, these flags were just kind of for fun. They're and like they were mentioning during the run, is like, you got to kind of know how to play each character too, because you could potentially get drafted into something where you're forced to run a black belt, and if you don't know how to play a black belt, or you don't understand those breakpoints of a black belt, then you could put yourself at a disadvantage. So it's kind of the reason why we designed the flags the way that we did, is just so you understand the benefits of having a black belt, even if you could potentially never really use them in certain flag sets.
Yeah, it's important to understand, like, the nuances and maybe, like, some additional strategies for all the characters, and that's especially true for the black belt. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that was a lot of fun. Nothing like punch and cast 20 hits for nearly 7,000 damage 2 times in a row. That's pretty amazing. And make sure you don't put your ribbons on ale, man. If you got an ale on your party, he does not need ribbons.
100%. So, I mean, I guess unless Chad has anything pressing or dire before we release this back and drop the new seed on tomorrow, I mean, do you guys want to just rock out some final thoughts here and just get this wrapped up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally fine with that. It looks like chat's just kind of discussing them amongst themselves. So yeah, I'll go on ahead and start it off. Tomorrow, these flags will go up under the Duckling area of our Discord. If you want to join the Discord, we have the Discord on here if somebody wants to post that. If you don't want to go to the Discord from that link, you can always go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, and there's a link to the Discord there. Join the Discord, go to the Duck Pond, go to how to FFR, and you can learn all about Final Fantasy Randomizer and how to do Final Fantasy Randomizer things. Right? Tomorrow, like I said, these flags, I'll post the seed tomorrow. It's an asynchronous race. You just basically do it on your time. You don't have to stream it or do anything. Throw up the seed, play the thing, post your time and the Duckling Weekly, and then you can go into spoiler chat and discuss how the seed went for you. Also tomorrow when I post, I'm going to put up a survey to find out the best day of the week for the Duckling Derby. We are in week 3 of the boot camp. At the end of week 8, we will start the Duckling Derby, which will be a weekly race for 4 weeks. So we're going to try to find out what day that race is going to happen. And it will be between January 17th and February 13th of next year, or 2021. So 5 weeks from now, right, is when it'll start. So I'll put up a survey for all the ducklings to fill out so that we can find a great time and day for everybody to have those races. Last 4 weeks, like I said, 4 different flag sets. In 2 weeks' time, we will have all the information for the Duckling Derby posted. But right now, I just need to know everybody's availability. All right. As Danny's pointing out in chat, we do have our weekly races tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Randomania, and Thursday nights at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Speed Gaming. Weekly race on Thursday will be the flags we did tonight, and tomorrow's flags I'm not sure about, but obviously if you join the Discord, you can find out what those flags are. I think I've said all I need to say about the Duckling Derby, so I'll go on ahead and push it off to my commentators tonight. Of course, Sir Link-A-Lot, Nail Markin for just being awesome, and Dark Moon for being our restreamer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to add on top of that. You pretty much said everything I needed to say. The one thing I'll do is just a reminder, like when you're going to run the flags, just take a minute to look over your flags, kind of like what we do at the start of each of the boot camp weeklies. Familiarize yourself with them. Make sure you understand how they impact the randomizer. Make sure you understand like what your initial routing options are. Make sure you've got some contingencies in place. Like we've talked about a couple times. Garland's going to have some HP for this week. Make sure that you keep that in mind and just don't go up there and hope like those Fire 2 spells are going to knock them out. Aside from that, yeah, just have fun, and thanks to RPG Lumigray for having us on. This has been a lot of fun, and yeah, I'll let Sir Link-A-Lot take us out tonight.
So I guess my big thing that I want to say is I just want to give a shout out to all of the ducklings for the last week. We had 37 ducklings submit times on this past week. So it's been amazing to see you all get in times, start to see those times come down, and just to see that amount of members of the community, interested in running Final Fantasy like this.
Yep, 100%.
All right, Dark Moon, take us out.
If you liked what you see, make sure you come to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can check out the randomizer right there, as well as find links to the Discord and the development Discord, and of course, join the community and be a part of all the great things that are going on. We will see you tomorrow for our weekly race, and until next week for the fourth week of the Duckling Bootcamp. This is DarkManiacs with AO and Sir Link-A-Lot and Greg Lee in the booth, and we will see you next time.